Avengers Doomsday plot leaks. Worse than Supergirl? Let's look at it now.
Marvel has just suffered a terrible leak of Avengers Doomsday. The plot, everything. The characters, the deaths. It's all out there. 6 months to go until the movie releases. And today we'll tell you why this is so tragically terrible it could spell the end of the MCU.
Yeah, if Avengers Doomsday flops, the MCU is done.
Now, some folks out there are, everybody's going to choose how to do this. I'm just going to go through the entire thing. This is everywhere. It's out there. It's been leaked. Articles are talking about it, and I'm just going to read the entire thing. We're going to take it piece by piece.
I used to be such a huge MCU fan. Then they released Captain Marvel.
This is the plot for Avengers Doomsday coming out this holiday season. It's Marvel's final chance to redeem itself. They've been on a very bad streak. RDJ is back to play Dr. Doom. The Russo brothers are back. This might be the most expensive movie ever made. And I'm here to tell you, this is not going to go well. I don't know. I don't see how you can do anything to fix this. Like the cinematography, the special
Come on, get into this. Get into it. This is too small for me to read.
The fight scenes, I don't know that you can fix this. And as we go through it, you'll see why. I also want to say as we read it, we waited on this until we were 1,000% sure this was totally real and that the whole world wasn't having to fake out. Marv, we've actually had this for a very long time. Is that right?
Yes. We've reported on it in the past. A lot of these, we've discussed it before, but it seems like now it's come back and people are a little bit more sure of it. This first appeared on comicbookmovie.com. And that's kind of when we reported on it as, hey, take this with a grain of salt. This might be, the leaks for Doomsday, but it seems like this is all basically what was revealed back then. And now I guess we have more assurance on it.
Okay. And also, I'm going to let people know that we also are pretty darn sure we know what happens in the next film too, but we're not ready to talk about it. There's plenty to talk about here. Let's go through why this just might be. This might be worse than Supergirl. They're going to make more money than
worse than Supergirl, a movie that completely bombed.
Supergirl, but this might be worse in terms of a story, and that's unbelievable. Here we go. Full plot description of Avengers Doomsday. This is being hosted not by us. No. Don't come get us. Boink Buzz. You go get him. Go get that guy. Big Boink Buzz. Get him. We're sorry, Boink Buzz, but somebody has to go down, and it's you, not us. Avengers Doomsday opens in New York City on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's Earth. So Tobey Maguire, who you refell in love with again in Spider-Man No Way Home, that Spider-Man that you loved from the 90s, that Spider-Man that, he I don't know if he had a happy ending. Derek, welcome back.
Am I good now? How do I sound?
You're great. You're better than good.
You sound too good. Can you turn it down? I need you to sound a little squeakier nasal.
All right, so Tobey Maguire, who, everybody loves his Superman, everybody loved his trilogy, he's back, okay? And we go to his world, and you might be excited when the movie opens. You're like, we get Toby, yes, he's gonna lead the way. He's gonna teach young Spidey how to do the thing. It says he's fighting Deadpool and Wolverine, who were sent there with a planet-killing baboom built by Beast. Yes, the Beast that you watched all through the 90s, who's part of the X-Men. This is that Beast. It's not some other Beast.
Kelsey
Grammer's Beast to destroy Toby's entire world. All right, the world that you loved, in order to save the X-Men's universe from an incursion. Now, incursion is something to do with the timeline, and if you mess up
This already sounds so bad.
the timeline, it's called an incursion, and blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Okay? Now, let me just put this out there. That makes Beast, who we all love, Kelsey Grammer's Beast, who you all have known for decades, makes him evil. Like, he's more evil than the worst evil bad guy you can think of in history, because he's willing to destroy entire worlds and universes to save his own. Toby, all right,
Yep.
Spider-Man that you know, the original Speedy of the
It makes Deadpool and Wolverine evil too.
films, battles Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who manages to plant the device. Wolverine wins. Wolverine stays behind when it detonates, and both Wolverine, who you love, and Toby's Spider-Man, along with everything from the Spider-Man series that you remember from the 90s, obliterated, deleted, killed. But Deadpool escapes and returns to his own
Yeah. I don't want Deadpool. They make Deadpool a genocidal monster.
Earth, which we see in the distance. Charles Xavier watches the destroyed world below with sadness, but they had no choice. Stop there, because that
Yeah, right.
also means that in the first 10, 15 minutes of the film, Professor X is evil.
But
Yeah.
Does that also mean that it's not McAvoy, but it's Patrick Stewart? So
Patrick Stewart,
It is.
and they're all evil.
He is sending, so essentially, yeah, he is sending the X-Men to destroy universes that are having incursions into theirs to save their universe.
So
the X-Men are destroying universes.
it's Loki, but it's X-Men.
So we're not destroying small cities. We're not destroying like, you know, one or two innocents have to die to stop the bad guy. Professor
Entire worlds.
X, Patrick Stewart, who is, you know, they're big fans of harm no humans. You know, that's not the right way. But now, under this, Kevin Feige's big finale, buddy, they're wiping out entire Earths, planets, universes. Just kill them all. Just kill them all. Derek?
Well, that's how you know that Hollywood people there have no morals, and they can't even recognize when they're incapable of writing good heroes.
What are we doing here, man? And this is real. This is what they're really going to release.
I don't know. I think Marvel's just trying anything they can at this point. This feels completely out of pocket for everything we know about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, about these characters. Like you said, X-Men, this is the absolute opposite of what the X-Men would go along with.
This is what the X-Men would fight to prevent. The real X-Men.
I don't know. I just think Kevin Feige's out of ideas. You know, they're all out of ideas.
I think I was convinced Kevin Feige never had any ideas by Captain Marvel. Everything in the whole MCU was building up to Thanos, to making him the big bad. And that was all the underlying plot lines. Then Feige releases Captain Marvel that undermines that. It undermines the entire MCU by introducing a hero, Captain Marvel, that's stronger than Thanos. It's terrible writing. And Captain Marvel was Feige's baby. So obviously the success of the MCU was other people, not him. He never had any talent.
Yeah, they just don't like, well, what are we going to do? Let's just destroy everything.
I guess.
You know, everything that's been built up over the last 2.5, 3 decades. You know, let's just destroy it all.
Like Luke Skywalker saying, hey, I tried to kill my nephew.
Yeah.
You know, the X-Men like, hold my beer. We're going to kill 1 billion nephews.
almost like it's the exact same company.
Oh my gosh. Lauren, any thoughts on, I mean, Beast is evil, Professor X is evil. They make Jake Skywalker look like a saint.
I was planning on going to see this movie, Doomsday, because I'd heard some good things, but now...
I'm trying to decide how to talk about this, because I agree this is all crap. I think a lot of it is because of what they were saddled with when they couldn't go through with the Kang storyline. But there's a part of my brain that is saying, well, if your universe is going to be destroyed by another incursion from a parallel universe, what are you supposed to do? So I don't love it. I also don't think I hate it quite as much as you guys do.
Yeah, if the only way for you to live is destroy another universe, maybe try to migrate your people out of, say, your universe to somewhere else, rather than destroying another entire universe. And it sounds like they've been doing it multiple times. Like the X-Men have destroyed multiple worlds just to save their singular world. If you're willing to kill dozens to just ensure your own survival, maybe consider another option.
I hate it pretty good.
Like, okay, so
that I agree with. Yes,
there
it
have
is
been versions of X-Men, like, okay, let's say they're Age of Apocalypse X-Men that are, you know, the worst version. But this is actually looks like, based off of what's been out there, probably the 90s X-Men are the X-Men that are going to be going after everybody. Or sorry, the 2000s leather pants X-Men with a 90s X-Men makeover are going to be coming in and trying to murder all of the heroes from who are they going after?
Everybody.
Toby, yeah, they've done it to multiple universes at this point. They are going after Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. So Toby, MJ, J. Jonah Jameson, old lady Aunt May, all Norman Osborn, who
Yes, kill off all the characters we love. That's an excellent way to get people invested in this movie.
Doc Ock, who were just fixed in No Way Home and sent back to have their happily ever afters now that Peter 1 has cured them, wiped from the face of the universe.
Yeah, there you go. What a great team.
Undoing all the development in Spider-Man No Way Home.
All right, continuing on. All right, then we're going to cut from there in the movie. Again, folks, if you don't want spoilers, you need to get out because that's all we're doing right now. And we're not going to stop. We're going all the way. We're going to cut then in the movie straight over to Tony Stark's funeral. So we're going back in time. Because remember, we can't do anything from any of the Disney Plus shows because nobody watched them. So we're going to cut back to Tony Stark's funeral. And Steve, that's...
Yeah. Between the other Avengers movies during the time where MCU was actually good, the other movies mattered in the series. But since no one watched any of the junk Disney has done since Endgame, they can't use any of this in this Avengers Doomsday.
Well, he should be Captain America, but he's not, and he's not going to be Captain America in any part of this film. Steve speaks with some of the heroes, including Ant-Man, before returning the stones, the Infinity Stones. He goes back in time and chooses to stay with Peggy.
Which I hated. It's goes completely against Captain America's character. In one of the earlier movies, he looked at a picture of Peggy and the husband she'd eventually had, the grandchildren she'd had, the happy life she'd led, even without him. And he'd been sad about that. The same Steve Rogers now is willing to go back and destroy that happy life that Peggy would have had because he wants it to be with her. It's so selfish. It's so bad. It destroys his character. I hated it so much.
They have a son, Jimmy. One day, Loki visits them. This is before Loki Season 2's finale. Do your homework. He tells Steve about the TVA and warns him that they will soon prune this timeline because Steve was never meant to live there or have a son.
By the way, the people that never saw Loki at all on Disney Plus or have not watched anything since Endgame are going to be like, what?
What is going on?
Why is Loki in a khaki, in a beige suit?
Loki in his khaki suit offers them a way out. He can take them to a universe where they don't exist and can live in peace, the Fantastic Four's universe.
I'm still caught up on this idea that it is Loki before the end. So is it supposed to be Loki in the 1,000 Lifetimes thing that he did at the end of season 2?
Just before the finale.
I hate this multiverse shit so much. Pruned worlds and whatnot.
Because there's never a period of time in which Loki is just working for the TVA. There's always something dire going on,
right?
Before he starts holding the multiverse together and creates the World Tree.
Before leaving, Loki gives Steve a special card to contact him. Chris Evans.
Well, no, what's really, really, really bad about lazy writing is when it happens in a franchise that had previously good writing, like Star Wars or the MCU, and it's so hard to create good world building, a good universe, that it annoys me so much when something like Star Wars gets destroyed.
And Steve and his family live there for 10 years. Okay. Cut forward to the future. We then see Dr. Doom visiting Sue and Franklin, as we saw in the end credits of Fantastic Four. Well, a few people did, not many. They clearly know each other. Doom says he has come to speak with Reed. He warns him about the incursions and reveals their universe is next. He proposes a plan, but they must travel with him to Earth 616. Doom also asks Reed, Pedro Pascal, whether it's possible someone from another universe is living in theirs. They scan the planet and discover an anomaly. Steve and his family. They confront Steve. It's just Steve this time. They confront Steve, who recognizes them after living there for a decade. They explain the incursions and ask him to come to 616 to help convince the Avengers to trust Doom's plan. They travel there, and Steve successfully persuades the heroes to listen.
They're working with Doom here, by the way. Doom, who's supposed to be the villain.
Well, that happens in a lot of movies, that the heroes and the villains work together at first, then something happens. That in and of itself isn't a problem.
Right. So this is not particularly good, but it's not terrible. It's not like what we just had. But then, well, here we go. Next, they visit the X-Men's universe. But the X-Men are hostile, which is a real shock given they've been wiping out entire universes. They've survived multiple incursions and trust no one. They assume the MCU heroes and the Fantastic Four have come to destroy them, and they attack. Reed and Doom explain their solution to build massive cannons on each Earth.
Yeah, you just heard that. The X-Men have survived multiple incursions. That means they've destroyed multiple universes to save their own. They're evil. I hate it.
Didn't we just do this in Fantastic Four? Giant portals, now we're giant cannons.
Okay. All the plastic non-people that were on those planets, the cardboard shallow people, did everything that the heroes told them to do.
The problem with writing characters that are supposed to be very smart is that when the writers are very dumb, they can't actually write people who are smart.
Yep. Yes.
So only write a character as smart as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's
with a lot of work, you can write a character that is maybe a little bit smarter than yourself, but because time, you as the author have unlimited amount of time. Therefore, you can think things through, and if the genius figures out in 1 second what you and the writer took you a week to figure out, that's how you make a character that's smarter than yourself. But if you have lazy, stupid writers, they have no hope of writing a smart person.
That's why Ahsoka, that series is so terrible, because Thrawn is, as smart as the writers, and the writers, they ain't too bright.
Yeah. Oh, I hated that. Thrawn is supposed to be this super genius, and he's an absolute idiot in that Star Wars series. I didn't watch series. I just watched videos on it describing the plot and just hated it.
It says, okay, so it goes, they assume the MCU heroes, blah, blah, blah. Reed and Doom explain their solution: to build massive cannons on each Earth that will permanently separate the universes and stop the incursions. They will split into teams, and each one will go to another Earth to place a cannon there. Meanwhile, Steve tells Thor, okay, he met a Loki who's still alive. Thor asks Steve to take him to him. Using Loki's card, they locate the TVA, but when they arrive, everyone is dead, and Loki has had his heart ripped out. And somehow they realize Doom is responsible.
So
How?
The guy named Doom.
And killing is that dead Loki? Is that the Loki from the 2 TV series?
yeah,
Was actually a bad guy.
Oh,
Who knew?
at least he's not a maladjusted hacker or something like that.
so you're saying your name is Dr. Evil. And exactly what do you do, sir?
No, these are my peace cannons that I.
Yeah, if actually Doctor Doom introduced himself as Doctor Doom, then yes, trusting him is not a great idea.
I'm installing on all of these Earths.
Doom says we're building peace cannons now. Everybody listen to him. Steve goes back to confront Doom, who reveals his true plan.
Thanks for the follow, Respoli. Nice to have you here.
Allow the incursions to happen so he can rebuild the multiverse in his own image and resurrect his dead family.
Dude shows up at the end of Fantastic Four in a cloak and just goes straight for the baby without like greeting anyone. And they're like, "Oh no, let's trust him. Let's
Like,
give
and you're
him a shot."
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to think that like he's interested in Franklin at the end of that movie because Franklin is this god level celestial character, and apparently none of that matters. None of this has even touched on the fact that he's Robert Downey Jr. Like, nobody cares that he's Tony Stark. I have not heard the words Sam Wilson or Thunderbolts or Shang-Chi at all in this yet.
Isn't it amazing, though, that like he looks exactly like, Tony Stark, and nobody says, hey, interesting thing about you.
Reminds me of that
Yep.
that episode of The Tick where there's
Unless he has his mask on the whole time.
that guy that looks like Joseph Stalin, and they insist it has to be Joseph Stalin. And the Terror, who is like a villain from World War II, says, I hired you because you look like Stalin.
Well, in this case, I think this plot looks like a very convoluted version of Ghostbusters 2. I think Doctor Doom is essentially Vigo, and Franklin is Oscar. So here we go.
I don't think Franklin has any specific role in this. It doesn't like.
It doesn't sound like it.
Well, let's. There is another child who has a serious role in this. Let's get to that. It says, let's see. They go back to confront. Okay, Steve goes back to confront Doom, who reveals his true plan to allow the incursions. Blah blah blah. He takes Steve to his Doom Castle via Doom buggy. No, I made that up. In Latveria on his Earth. There, Steve meets Doom's followers, who are masked witches. Get your witches on, Lorne. We got the witches back. We got more witches, Lorne.
Oh, no.
These are not space witches, Lorne. These are Latverian. These are Latverian witches.
Muted deliberately. That was too loud. What?
Space witches have returned to a Disney franchise.
Which
Damn
is
it.
Are we sure we're not being trolled?
This is why we've been careful up until now, and it's been confirmed by people that we just flat out. I mean,
What if he's like,
Doom is supported by a bunch of witches. And who knows, with Disney, it might have been the witches that were in charge of everything all along.
these are my followers, the Doom Witches, and then they go down, down, down the road, down the Doom Witch Road. What if the Doom Witches are like Agatha?
It could be them. It could be them.
I'm telling you, what if it's Agatha and Patty LuPone and the HR lady from He-Man?
please let Dave Filoni do a cameo as a witch, please. One of them impersonates Peggy to manipulate him. Doom reveals that Steve, Captain America, I mean, it's just Steve. Just Steve. Don't you call him something else.
Wait, I'm sorry, I've got to go there. This is a whole different thing if they're hot witches. It's a completely different genre if they're like good-looking witches.
Oh. Okay, true, yeah. Doom revealed...
Thing is, depending on the personality, it doesn't even matter if they're hot anymore because a girl boss, they're not going to be hot. They're not going to be hot, not with Disney.
That Steve's presence in their universe is what triggered their incursion because he didn't belong there. I'm starting to see a theme on this.
Why would Loki bring him there?
It also led to the death of Doom's family. Doom became obsessed with stopping the incursion, conducting dangerous experiments, one of which failed, killing his family and leaving him disfigured, forcing him to wear the armor and mask. As revenge, here we go.
Wait, hold on. You mean he goes to the castle and he's like, "You see, Captain America, it all started back in Gimmelstump." It gives the whole dramatic backstory. You see, Kenny the Platypus.
Phantom of the Opera right here. But here we go, folks. This is what you get to go watch. As revenge, Doom is going to kill Captain America's son, Steve's son, right there in front of him, his kid.
I'm in, bro. Anything that's got me going pew 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 pew, sign me up.
No, this is too much. All right, pause there. Let's talk about it, guys. I don't want to see a dude's son killed, not Captain America's son killed. This is
A 10-year-old.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is like, and this is why we've been careful in the past. Now everybody is confirming, no, this is real. RMB is saying it's real. Chris Gore is saying it's real. We've got, I can go through the list, but
Doom is supposed to be megalomaniac. He's supposed to be all about ruling everything. He's not supposed to be a petty, vengeful father that wants to kill someone else's son.
if this is really the movie, this is going to bomb at the box office because nobody wants to watch this kind of stuff.
Well, okay, so one thing I wanted to point out here, this is a movie about Steve Rogers and Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von Doom.
Yep.
None of the Marvel characters in the current phase have anything even remotely important to do, to the point where they are literally just the background characters in this synopsis.
That's right. That's right. This is essentially RDJ and Chris Evans with some window dressing around them.
The only
If it had been a good story, it might have worked. It might have. The idea not to use anything in the bad phases of Marvel, that was a good idea. But if you don't have good writers, nothing matters.
the only characters that have been named as vital to the plot at this point are Doom, Steve Rogers, Thor, Loki, and the X-Men. That's it.
Yep.
So it's going to get
Fantastic
worse.
Four. The Fantastic Four don't even have a big role in this, it sounds like, because you have Doom as the villain, and they're not giving Reed Richards anything.
But think about it, Marv. What would you give him to do? Because at this point in time, nobody cares about those characters. Those characters flopped in the box office. So if you're going to do anything, you're going to move away from the stuff that didn't work and move towards something that might actually work.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so now they're going to destroy the characters we still love with terrible writing.
saying
They're
that's a
doubling
bad,
people down on the Thunderbolts. It's like,
yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I'm just saying that it's proof that those movies were such a miserable failure. And
exactly.
True.
So it's about to get much worse. But Jonas, what do you think about the idea that we're going to have the X-Men be evil? We've got Tobey Maguire Spider-Man killed off in the first 15 minutes. And we're going to have Captain America's son, who we never got to spend time with, but we just know he loves him. He gets killed.
So,
And doesn't that screw up when old Captain...
Does he succeeds in killing a Captain America's son? Because what we got from the spoilers was just he wanted to kill Captain America's son. If he's going to succeed, well, I need to hear the rest of the spoilers.
was up and... Yeah, that does screw that up, doesn't it?
Well,
No, I don't think it will.
Yeah. it messes up. First of all, it messes up the fact that Loki is supposed to be benevolent at the end of everything. There's this arc of him living thousands and thousands and thousands of years in order to become Loki, God of Stories, at the end of Loki season 2. I brought up Loki and it bored Derek Anderson's internet.
He'll be back.
Distance. So we've got a villain who literally kills a kid. So
Captain America's kid.
It better be a teenager.
Steve Rogers' kid. Thank you very much.
Fine. It better be a nearly grown child at this point. Well, he's been there for 10 years, so
He's a 10-year-old.
we're thinking he's a 10-year-old, right?
He's prepubescent. He's going to be, yeah.
Where is Peggy Carter in all of this, other than showing up as
I
a
hate
witch or
it.
something?
This is another case of them taking heroes who earned their win and being like, no, you didn't get to be a dad. You didn't get to have the life. No, we're going to steal that. You know that big payoff? No, we're not going to do that. You're going to lose your kid. You're going to be such a failure as a father that you can't save your
Yeah, Steve Rogers would have been, if this is true, would have been better off not going back in time and becoming a father.
child from the bad guy.
Well,
Here we go again, right?
that's all
Here
they
we go.
have at this point. All they have is deconstruction.
All right, it's going to get way, way worse.
I
I know that
can
seems difficult, but
imagine.
here we go. All right, so after Captain America, Steve Rogers' son is killed right in front of him by Dr. Doom, Doom announces that the Avengers are coming, and Latveria prepares for war. The Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the X-Men unite and march on Latveria. Thor prays to Odin, who sends an army from Valhalla to join the battle.
That's convenient.
This is sounding a lot like Rise of Skywalker at the
And it's going to be a very diverse army from that Thor raises because, yeah. Surprisingly diverse.
end.
Where he couldn't say a prayer to Odin during Endgame?
That's a great point.
right?
So
Odin did die at the end of, or in the middle
Ragnarok.
of both versions of Ragnarok.
Yes.
So everybody essentially is going to be here, except for I don't see anything about Wakanda. I don't see anything about new Avengers. Maybe they're included. I don't know. But
They're probably included with the Avengers.
yeah. A massive war erupts as the Earths begin to collide. Eventually, the universes crash into each other and are destroyed, killing everyone. Everyone except Doom. It is revealed that he, I guess off screen, because it's going to be revealed, that he stole Loki's powers. Using them, he somehow creates Battle World. I didn't know that was a Loki power, but it is now. To create Battle World, resurrects everybody. Again, I didn't know that was a Loki power, but apparently it is. Resurrects everybody and erases their memories. They believe Battle World is all that has ever existed, which I don't care if it came from the comics. It's the dumbest name in the world. They believe Battle World is all that has ever existed. We see them living new lives in this false reality. Doom sits on his throne as the Emperor of Battle World. The end.
So
This has
Secret
to
Wars,
be-
basically. That's just going right to Secret Wars.
Yep.
It feels like
Yep,
that's
that's-
fake.
Where I'll put this out there for you. Sue Storm is going to be the ultimate girl boss you can't believe in that movie. I'll just put that out there. But okay.
You think so?
Yeah. So anyway, I have no idea why people would want to go see this movie. I don't hear anything in this that sounds enjoyable.
No.
They are hoping that Steve Rogers is going to be enough to bring them back into the theater. But when people are going to see in the trailers and stuff that he's not Captain America and that Sam Wilson is still running around in the spangly outfit, nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
So in order for this kind of a script to work, just a baseline, you have to have a small contingency that escapes and they're off somewhere and they're going to come up with a plan. When you eliminate everyone, it just ends on total nothingness.
There's no one to react to it.
Right. And then
After this, it's over, this video.
the other problem is
It's going to be like, remember Imagination Land Pro in South Park where
do I ever?
the white thing and then Butters just pops up and goes, oh, hamburgers. And he like
hamburgers.
recreates the world. That's what the ending is going to be.
So the problem here is that the solution for how Doctor Doom survives is an off-screen thing that makes no sense even reading this.
Yep.
Loki doesn't have any of these powers. He doesn't even have these powers in the TV show where he becomes the tree of whatever. Let's bring in a guy who's going to help explain it. Wiz, you just got out of Young Washington, is that right?
Yes, I've just seen Young Washington, the start of the USACU, the United States of America Cinematic Universe, brought to you by Angel Studios.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have seen it. It's all real, you guys. All of these leaks, they're real. It's happening. We're going. Loki has all the powers. It's going to be great. I think Tom Holland sees the writing on the wall. Don't be surprised if Secret Wars is his last outing as Spider-Man. Yeah, man, this is insane.
Hey, Wiz, can you just walk us through why you think, because we've come to the point now where we're accepting it as real. Months ago, I thought this could be a misdirect because it's so awful. Can you walk us through why you think this is real without spoiling your sources?
Okay, so yeah, I do have a few sources that have corroborated this. This has been one of multiple versions of leaks that have been floating around for many, many months. Okay. Some things are the same. Most of it is slightly like there's different variations, but it's all kind of the same thing because they're not trying to redo the entire movie over. But most of the chunks of this have been the same. Concept art from some time ago, which had Doom sitting on a throne and Sue Storm as pretty much the queen or like his wife. That came out a while ago. They said, "Oh no, that's not real." Yeah, that's all kind of legit. It's seeming like that's a little bit legit. There's a few. I think there's talk of Spider-Man being this actually being Tom Holland's last movie, and I wasn't joking. Secret Wars is probably going to be his last outing as Spider-Man because he's kind of done. Him and Zendaya want to retire from the Marvel universe. But the rest of
I would get out of that shit show as soon as I could.
this is kind of crazy. I think the opening scene with Tobey Maguire, which also has been the longest running leak, that is a constant in every version of this script. The opening of the movie is Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire both dying. That has been the constant since day one. And
Yes, after the huge success of Deadpool and Wolverine, kill Wolverine, of course.
as far as my sources last week have confirmed, that is still very much shot and filmed, and that is going to happen. There have been other versions of this where there's like a portal opens, and Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire go through that portal, and then they're in the final fight. Regardless, this all ends with Doom killing everybody in the end. Doom will slaughter everybody in super brutal ways. There is a death that is in one of these two movies that I cannot say who it is. That person will not be coming back. That is a permadeath. And it is an Avenger, and there's
like Tony Stark in Endgame.
No one's gonna. Let me put it this way: it is a serious kill off death, but no one's gonna care. No one's gonna care.
No, just when you say permanent death in this, it is so meaningless.
Yeah.
Well, there's some insider stuff why the actor would not be back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's that. It has to do with that. Less about the character, more about There's a few reasons why the phase 4 and 5 people are there. We're going to just continue business as usual with the MCU. This is not a matter of rebooting and fixing mistakes. Everything about this is to try to explain away. Everything with Doomsday and Secret Wars is an attempt to explain away why the X-Men are now in the Avengers verse.
And they're going to recast all the X-Men basically after these two films. I mean, they have to, but this is how they're getting one last hurrah out of the Fox, the Fox personalities, and then they switch over.
Possibly. There is Hugh Jackman likes the money, it seems, so he might be back.
I like money.
What I have been told is, and I don't know who it is, but just to pay attention to who the rumors are for the X-Men castings, because you're going to be shocked and it's real. That's what I've been told. I don't know anything other than that.
I mean, you know, one of my favorite memes of the last year is the architect from The Matrix sitting there saying, "This is the 7th time we've done a send-off of the X-Men universe, and we've gotten quite efficient at it."
How many times has Patrick Stewart portrayed dying Professor X? But this time
he has died so many times on screen at this point.
This time he's Professor X, the conqueror of universes. He is the destroyer. Okay, well, he makes he makes.
All right, I think that's the end of that. I hate these leaks so much, and I was going to see Doomsday before this because I heard they were correcting some mistakes and not having anyone from Phase 4 and 5 of the MCU. That was a huge plus for me. But now that I hear what the writing is in this movie, yeah, fuck that. I'm out. MCU is truly, completely, 100% dead. God. This will be on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Come watch on Kick or Twitch, and I'll see you next video. Bye.